Good evening, artists. Thanks for the introduction, Sedu. Today we are going to see about the recruitment maneuvers and the pros about the recruitment maneuvers. Uh, mainly we have content about ARDS, advantages, indications, and types of maneuvers. How to do the recruitment maneuvers. Recruitment maneuver is a lung recruitment maneuver. Temporarily increase the airway pressure. Need to open the collapsed alveolar units that are either poorly aerated or non-aerated, which improves oxygenation. Mainly, we have to know the ARDS because the recruitment maneuver that we use to open up the alveoli in mainly in ARDS conditions. ARDS is nothing but acute and diffuse inflammatory lung injury leading to increased pulmonary vascular permeability and loss of aerated lung tissue with hypoxemia and bilateral radiographic opacities associated with increased physiological dead space and decreased lung compliance. ARDS mainly defined in Berlin criteria from 2012. Before we have so many criteria. This one is the recent and updated criteria for ARDS. It's defined symptoms with begin within 1 week of insult or new or worsening symptoms in last 1 week. Bilateral opacities and chest imaging. PaO to FiO2 ratio should be less than 300 with a PEEP of 5. Not fully attributed to cardiac failure or volume overloaded by the use of echo. Advantages of lung recruitment maneuver. It's used to open up the collapsed lung and the optimal be prevent the cyclic collapse and increase uh, expiratory lung volume and improve gas exchange and decrease ventilator induced lung injury. Recruitment maneuvers indications. Mainly the three indications for recruitment maneuver is refractory hypoxemia, high P requirement, and high FiO2 requirement. The, the reasons for de-recruitment. There are two main causes for de-recruitment by therapeutic causes and manual causes. We are ventilating ARDS patient as a baby lung concept to avoid ventilator-induced lung injury. Due to that, the low tidal volume, it's also cause for de-recruitment. Inadequate, less than 4 ml also cause severe de-recruitment, and inadequate PEEP. That's also cause for the de-recruitment. And use of high FiO2 for the longer time, it's due to absorption atelectasis. And the manual causes, that's also post suctioning, and the duration of suction is too high, and post ventilator disconnection, the accidental disconnection, or the open suction, that's also leads for the de-recruitment. The spectrum of regional opening pressures. The picture shows the pressures that needed to open up the zones of alveoli. Mainly in ARDS patients, we have zones of ventilation that some inflated alveoli, some partially collapsed, some fully collapsed, some are fully consolidated. According to that, we have some pressure to open up the alveoli. In recruitment maneuver, mainly we are focused to open up the fully collapsed alveoli with a pressure of 20 to 60 centimeter waters. And prerequisite. Before the procedure, we have to confirm patient must be intubated and ventilated. Patient must be sedated and paralyzed. The ET cuff should be inflated above 10 centimeter pressure, more than that recruitment pressure. Check for leaks. Nebulizer should be disconnected and chemodynamic should be stable. Before start the procedure, we have before and during procedure we have to monitor some vitals like heart rate, rhythm, SpO2, and blood pressure. Patient is in tachycardic or brady less than 50. That patient should be avoided for the lung recruitment. If patient have a AF of any other SVT before the procedure means he is highly risk for hemodynamic instability during the procedure. And blood pressure BP should be in with minimal with the minimal inotropic support is eligible for do the recruitment maneuver. If BP is maintained with high inotropic support with, or in vasopressin support, we have to avoid the recruitment maneuver because so many studies shows that if blood pressure with high inotropic support definitely shows some hemodynamic instability during the procedure. Due to, it leads to abort the procedure in the intermittent period. We have certain recruitment maneuvers, types of recruitment maneuvers we have. Mainly, we are using sustained high pressure inflation, staircase recruitment maneuver, PV tool, prone, intermittent side, and PEEP. Mainly one is sustained inflation. Sustained inflation we can recruit in one type of recruitment maneuver we can use in CPAP mode. Increase the pressure to 30 to 40 centimeter for 30 to 40 seconds, or in pressure control ventilation set respiratory rate to 0 and turn off the apnea alarm. Increase the PEEP to 30 to 40 centimeter for 30 to 40 seconds. But some recent study shows most recruitment occurs in first 10 seconds. After that, the hemodynamic compromise will is occurring. During the procedure, we have to monitor the vital test. This is one of the study was conducted in 2011. It shows first 10 seconds of most of the recruitment occurs during the first 10 seconds of sustained inflammation recruitment maneuvers. The hemodynamic impairment is significant after the 10th second of recruitment maneuver. The second one is staircase maneuver. We can use another mode with the pressure control mode itself. Using the pressure control ventilation, adjust the FiO2 to target SpO2 of 90 to 92. Why we have to maintain 90 to 92 means if during the recruitment maneuver we can assess the saturation also. If there is an improvement in saturation, we can continue the procedure. If we maintain the SpO2 more than 92, we can assess the SpO2 improvement. That's why. Then set the peak inspiratory pressure of pressure support of 15 centimeter above the PEEP to maintain the difference. Increase the PEEP in stepwise manner to 20, 30, then up to 40 centimeter. Adjust made every 2 minutes. The peak inspiratory pressure will reach up to 55. The pressure difference between peak and plateau should be less than 15 centimeter. It means driving pressure should be less than 15 centimeter we have to maintain during this procedure. After that, we can reduce the PEEP up to 25 from started the decremental method to 2.5 centimeter every 2 to 3 minutes. We have to assess the SpO2 is decreased or less than 1%. From the maximum SO2 is observed. The point is the decrement point. Increase the PEEP, then increase the PEEP up to 40 centimeter for the 1 minute and return to the PEEP level 2 centimeter above the derecruitment point. That's called optimum PEEP. After that, we change into volume control mode, set the ventilation according to the ARDS protocol. The recruitment maneuver should be stopped if heart rate is less than 60 or more than 140. Any new dysarrhythmias is happen. BP is less than 80 mm Hg, SpO2 is less than 80 centimeters. During the procedure, some mild desaturation are acceptable. Next is PV tool. PV tool is nothing but protective ventilation tool. It's mainly for Hamilton ventilator. This is one kind of software that used to recruit the lung. We have certain limits to set the parameters. That should be the P start, the pressure, the starting limit, and P top, and NP. And ramp speed and T-pass we have to set. And after that, we need to assess the lung recruitability. Following criteria helps to assess the patient's potential for lung recruitment or low potential for lung recruitment. If any one of the criteria should be need to continue the recruitment criteria. The shape of the inspiratory curve should be convex and the volume difference at the level of 20 centimeter water is more than 500 ml. If doesn't meet that criteria means we have patient doesn't have a recruitment recruitability, so no need to go for the further recruitment process. How to perform recruitment process? In PV tool setting window, we have to start pressure is current PEEP and P top is 40. The end PEEP is 15. If we our current PEEP is more than 15, means we have to set the end PEEP is the same as P start. And the ramp speed is 5 centimeters water per second and T pass of 10 seconds. We have to start the procedure. After the procedure, we can assess the measurement points. The volume gain after the procedure at least 2 ml per kg. It indicates successful recruitment maneuver. The wave should be convex and it's also one of the measurement point for lung recruitment. The another one is non-responder. If the curve should resemble like this, means the patient doesn't have recruitability. Better to go with a low PEEP around 8 to 10 PEEP, and proning is the best thing for the best thing for these kind of patients. And proning. Proning we have widely we are using in our unit region to open up the alveoli and improve oxygenation. How it helps me redistribution to the areas that are better ventilated. Redistribution improve alveolar recruitment in previously closed area of lungs. Redistribution of fluids and gas improve oxygenation and ventilation. Changes regional diaphragm motion, decrease mediastinal compression, uniformly distributed pleural pressure therapy, improving alveolar recruitment. The recent study proning is told at least minimum 16 hours is to turn the respond the patient. PEEP. PEEP actually not a recruitment therapy, it's actually a de-recruitment therapy. It prevent the cyclic collapse and prevent the atelectroma and actually prevent the over distension of the lung. Mainly we have a before that mainly need to set the optimum pressure. We have so many types. We have to set the optimum pressure. Before optimum PEEP, we have to know about the pressure volume loop. The curve is contained lower inflation point and upper inflation point. Lower inflation point indicates alveolar recruitment. Upper inflation point helps to set the PEEP. Lower inflation point reflects pressure level at which collapsing of alveoli acquired during expiration and reopening during next inspiration lead to atelectroma. At the top of PV loop, compliance decreases and upper inflation considered to occur when lung was overinflated. It was considered tidal volume PEEP set so that the end expiratory pressure above lower inflation point to improve cyclic collapse of alveoli. End expiratory pressure to be kept lower than upper inflation point to avoid the over distension. The types of optimal PEEP. We use two arbitrarily high PEEP set to 15 to 20 centimeter water. The one kind of CT studies support to use of PEEP around 16 centimeter water. Another one is use of ARDS net protocol PEEP and FiO2 escalation table. The setting PEEP according to the severity of oxygenation failure. Then titrate PEEP according to the maximum compliance and set PEEP slightly above the lower inflation point and according to the staircase maneuver and using of electrical impedance tomography. One more recruitment maneuver is intermittent side. It is also one of it is also available in one kind of ventilators we are like Drager Evita 4. The recruitment maneuvers according to baseline ventilation is delivered with volume control ventilation. The sigh with inspiratory planetary pressure of 40 centimeter water are delivered in the volume control mode 3 minutes per 3 times per minute. Actually, this not have lot of studies for this recruitment maneuvers. Mainly sustained inflation, staircase, and PV tool are widely using now. We have a methodology for assessing the lung recruitment. CT, lung ultrasound, electrical impedance tomography. These are help to assess the lung recruitability. And positive effects of lung recruitment maneuvers. It's improve oxygenation and ventilation, increase compliance and decrease driving pressure, and reduce shunt and recruit of new lung units. The images show that how it's helped to open up the alveoli for the responder patients. And the blue one is actually over distended. The pink one is the normally open up the alveoli, and the red one is collapsed alveoli. After the responders, that pink and is increased and then the red one is decreased. If patient is non-responding, means the blue one is increased. It shows the over distending of alveoli. So better to avoid the lung recruitment maneuver if patient doesn't have a recruitability. Summary and recommendation for lung recruitment maneuvers. Evidence is lacking that the use of recruitment maneuvers improves the patient outcomes. Alveolar recruitment is desirable if it can be achieved safely, but there is a variable potential for recruitment among patients with ARDS. A stepwise recruitment maneuver is preferred over sustained inflation. Complication of recruitment maneuvers such as hypotension, desaturations are common but temporary. Complications such as barotrauma appear to be very rare. If recruitment maneuver is effective, sufficient PEEP is necessary to maintain the recruitment. The evidence is not sufficient to recommend the routine use of recruitment maneuvers as a standard practice. Thank you.
Hello, good evening to all. My topic is regarding recruitment maneuver common contraindication. What are the common contraindications? Now I will present. This one already Balaji explained to how to recruitment maneuver can use can benefit from the lungs. You already seen the picture. Okay. Now I tell about the positive effect of the lung recruitment maneuver. So, during the recruitment maneuver, it will increase the lung volume and decrease the atelectasis and decrease the lung homogeneity and increase the oxygenation, and also increase the compliance, decrease the driving pressure, and decrease the mechanical power also. Negative effect of lung recruitment maneuver. During the lung recruitment maneuver, it increase the intrathoracic pressure. It can cause the over distension. The over distension related to decrease the lung complaints and also decrease the oxygenation. So negative effect of lung recruitment, nothing is said. Negative effect during the lung recruitment, it increase the intrathoracic pressure. Once the intrathoracic pressure will increase, it can cause the over distension. It can reduce the lung complaints and decrease the oxygenation also. It can cause the risk of barotrauma. In pulmonary vascular resistance, it can increase, it cause right ventricle dysfunction. It also decrease the cardiac output. It also reduce the blood pressure also. It can cause the increased ICP and also induce the ventilator induced lung injury and increase the mechanical power. Common contraindication regarding recruitment maneuver, COPD emphysema and hemodynamic instability, high ICP, right heart failure, and chronic AID patient more than 1 week, we can't do the recruitment maneuver. Okay. During 40 pip and 40-second maneuver, there was a contraindication. During this method, any disconnection from the ventilation may cause the massive lung derecruitment. Okay, clamping during any changes from one setting to another ventilator. During this 40th 40-second, we can change to high flow oscillation ventilation. During the time, we can clamp the ET tube to prevent the lung derecruitment. Okay. In pressure volume loop, there is some contraindication. During the pressure volume loop, we can identify the optimal PEEP. We can use the identify the optimal PEEP to protect the lung ventilation. This manner, we can use the adequate sedation and paralysis to prevent the use the adequate paralysis and relaxation to identify the optimal PEEP. The incremental PEEP must be closely monitored by the well-trained respiratory therapist because the lung open with too much pressure can damage the lung and heart. Okay, it's crucial to allow the time for the patient to equilibrate between the each setting and change, constantly monitoring the process to avoid the lung oxygenation from overdistension. Okay, incremental PEEP must mostly closely monitor the respiratory therapist to prevent the avoid loss of oxygenation from overdistension. Here I present here I added 2-3 study regarding of the recruitment maneuver. These studies are published in 2012. Complication from recruitment maneuver, patient with acute lung injury. In this study, the conclusion was they told the recruitment maneuver's common complication is the pneumothorax. Okay, in this study, we can prevent the repeated recruitment maneuver, repeated number of recruitment maneuver we can avoid it. It will cause the pneumothorax. So repeated recruitment maneuver should be avoided in this manner. In this study, repeated recruitment maneuver should be avoided. Okay. Disadvantage is commonly hypotension, overdistance. Already is overdistance of valve, barotrauma, pneumothorax, and pneumomediastinum. Published by 2009. Lung recruitment from ventilation. In this study, during the lung recruitment maneuver, there is no safety in the cardiovascular status because during the recruitment maneuver, the patient easily going by hypotension because of intrathoracic pressure increased, the cardiac output decreased, it will cause the hypotension. There is no safety during the recruitment maneuver. In this study, published by 2009, in this study, told by the only there is no safety during the cardiovascular status. Disadvantage is already termed. Conclusion means there is no during the recruitment maneuver performed by clinical expert in selected patient. Okay, before recruitment maneuver, you should select the patient. The patient is yearly IRDS, patient have PF ratio, all things you should identify. Then you do the recruitment maneuver. An alternative sustained inflation technique may increase the mortality rate is observed in the heart time. Conclusions nothing but communication and teamwork with the interdisciplinary team. That during the recruitment maneuver, the communication and teamwork will help the success. Another, to avoid the frequent changes in setting to be avoided. So teamwork will help to improve your success. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob sir, for explanations regarding the cause of lung recruitment.
ராதண்ணா ராதண்ணா அண்ணா மேக்வெட் வென்டிலேட்டர்ல எப்படி லங் ரெக்ரூட்மெண்ட் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஒரு கிளியரா எல்லாருக்கும் புரியுற மாதிரி கொஞ்சம் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணுங்க.
சரண் சார் இருக்காரு, அவர் விட்டுட்டு எனக்கே சொல்றேன்.
மோஸ்ட்லி கேஎம்சிஹெச் பீப்புள்ஸ் தான் இருக்காங்க, கேஎம்சிஹெச் ராயல் கேர். ஸோ அங்கே எல்லாருமே மேக்வுட் தான் யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. ஸோ இட் வில் பி யூஸ்ஃபுல் ஃபார் தெம்.
ஓகே, ஸோ வாட் ஐ ப்ராக்டிஸ், நான் என்ன பண்ணுவோம் அப்படின்னா, எனி பேஷண்ட் ஹேவிங் வைப்பாக எனி பேஷண்ட் கம் வித் ஹிஸ்ட்ரி ஆஃப் ஏஆர்டிஎஸ், ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வில் செக் ஃபார் த பிஎஃப் ரேஷியோ. இந்த பிஎஃப் ரேஷியோ வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா கட் ஆஃப் வேல்யூ 150 வாட் வி ஆர் டேக்கிங் இன் மிடில் ஈஸ்ட். பிஎஃப் ரேஷியோ 150 இருந்து ஒரு கட் ஆஃப் வேல்யூ எடுத்துக்குவோம். If the PF ratio less than 150, we have to check the patient is recruitable lung or non-recruitable lung. So recruitable lung or non-recruitable lung அப்படின்னு சொல்லி பார்க்கறதுக்காக we are going for the recruitment maneuver. If the patient having non-recruitable அப்படின்னா then we go for the prone ventilation. இப்போ prone ventilation வந்து போடுறோம். prone ventilationல வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா if there is no effect அப்படின்னா then we go for the ECMO. These are the process of our management. Okay. How we do the recruitment maneuver? Okay. First we go for the recruitment maneuver அப்படின்னா first the biology வந்து ஏற்கனவே நம்ம சொல்லியிருக்காரு. So he already explained. We have to before recruitment maneuver we have to check for the patient status, hemodynamics. If the patient வந்து stable, clinical stable இருக்கா, அப்புறம் வந்து cardiovascular status stable இருக்கா, அப்புறம் வந்து பிபி வந்து more than 90 இருக்கணும், அப்புறம் வந்து ஹீமோடைனமிக் ஸ்டேட்டஸ்க்கு வந்து எவ்வளோ அயன் ட்ராப்ஸ் எல்லாம் இருக்கு அப்படின்னு சொல்லி பார்க்கணும். அப்புறம் வந்து பிஃபோர் கோயிங் ஃபார் ரெக்ரூட்மெண்ட் யூ நீட் சம் மானிட்டரிங் பேராமீட்டர்ஸ். ஒரு ஆர்டி இருக்கணும், ஸ்டாஃப்னஸ் இருக்கணும், அப்புறம் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு வந்து ஹெல்ப்புக்கு ஏதாவது வந்து பேஷண்ட் ஹேவிங் என்ன ரெக்ரூட் பண்ணுறப்ப என்னென்ன காம்ப்ளிகேஷன் வர சான்ஸ் இருக்கு. ஜேகே சொன்ன மாதிரி தேர் இஸ் அ சான்ஸ் ஆஃப் பேரோட்ராமா. ஸோ அதனால வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வி ஹேவ் டு மானிட்டர் த ஹீமோடைனமிக்ஸ். ஸோ அதனால வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஹை சான்ஸ் ஆஃப் கோயிங் ஃபார் pneumothorax. ஸோ அதனால மானிட்டரிங் பேராமீட்டர்ஸ் வந்து யூ நீட் சப்போர்ட்டிங் டீம். ஓகே, தென் பேஷண்ட் சுட் பி sedated and paralyzed. பேஷண்ட் சுட் பி sedated and paralyzed. ஓகே, ரெண்டாவது வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா இதில் வந்து ரெண்டு பண்ணும். என்ன அப்படின்னா we have to go for recruitment maneuver, then we have to find out what is the optimal peak. So recruitment maneuver வந்து என்ன பண்ணுவோம் அப்படின்னா, as the biology said, so we go with the CPAP. The patient should be வந்து sedated, paralyzed, hemodynamics should be stable, and systolic BP is at least more than 90. ரொம்ப ஹைட்ரோபிக் சப்போர்ட்ல இருக்கக்கூடாது. ஓகே, ஸோ என்ன பண்ணுவோம் அப்படின்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பேஷண்ட் should be CPAP மேக்ல போட்டு, அப்புறம் வந்து we start with 20 PEEP 20 seconds. நான் PEEP 20க்கு மேலே போனதில்லை, மேக்ஸிமம் we can go up to 30 PEEP with 30 seconds. This is recruitment maneuver. ஸோ இந்த ரெக்ரூட்மெண்ட் மேனுவர் பண்ணிட்டு தென் வி கோ ஃபார் த ஆப்டிமல் பீப். ஆப்டிமல் பீப் வந்து எப்படி கண்டுபிடிக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி பார்க்கறதுக்காக என்ன பண்ணுவோம் அப்படின்னா, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வி ஹேவ் டு வி நீட் சம் பேராமீட்டர்ஸ். ஒரு பேப்பர் எடுத்துங்க, பேப்பர் எடுத்துட்டு வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா எந்த பீப்பு ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுறீங்க, பீப் லெவல் 1. ரெண்டாவது வந்து என்ன ஸ்டாட்டிக் கம்ப்ளைண்ட்ஸ் என்ன வருது, அப்புறம் வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா சாச்சுரேஷன் எப்படி இருக்கு, ஹார்ட் ரேட் எப்படி இருக்கு, பிபி எப்படி இருக்கு, ஸ்டாட்டிக் கம்ப்ளைண்ட்ஸ் எப்படி இருக்கு அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஒரு பேப்பர்ல எழுதிக்கணும். எழுதிட்டு வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா யூ ஸ்டார்ட் வித், ஸோ வாட் வி டூ அப்படின்னா வி கம்ஃபர்டபுள் வித் வால்யூம் கண்ட்ரோல். ஸோ விச் எவர் மோர் வால்யூம் கண்ட்ரோல், ப்ரெஷர் கண்ட்ரோல், விச் இஸ் ஒன் கம்ஃபர்டபுள் யூ கேன் கோ வித். ஸோ இங்கே வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா இங்கே வாட் யூ டூயிங் இன் கத்தார் அப்படின்னா ஆல் த ஆர்டிஸ்ட் தேர் கம்ஃபர்டபுள் வித் வால்யூம் கண்ட்ரோல் பிகாஸ் த வால்யூம் இஸ் கான்ஸ்டன்ட். இப்போ வால்யூம் கண்ட்ரோல் உங்களால் பண்ண முடியல அப்படின்னா இஃப் யூ கோ ஃபார் ப்ரெஷர் கண்ட்ரோல், ப்ரெஷர் இஸ் கான்ஸ்டன்ட். ஓகே, விச் எவர் மோர் கன்வீனியன்ட் யூ கேன் கோ, பட் பேஷன்ஸ் வுட் பி sedated and paralyzed. ஓகே, ஸோ என்ன பண்ணுவோம் அப்படின்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா பீப் வந்து 20 வச்சுக்கோங்க. 20 வச்சுட்டு வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா உங்களுக்கு வந்து எப்படி ஹார்ட் ரேட் எப்படி இருக்கு, பிபி எப்படி இருக்கு, ரெண்டாவது வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா கம்ப்ளைண்ட்ஸ் எப்படி இருக்கு. ஓகேங்களா, இதெல்லாம் வந்து நீங்கள் கால்குலேட் பண்ணிட்டே வந்திருக்கணும். அதை முடிச்சுட்டு ஒவ்வொரு பீப் வச்சுட்டு அது எந்த அளவுக்கு சாச்சுரேஷன் இருக்கு, அந்த நான் சொன்ன கம்ப்ளைண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் இருக்கு அப்படின்னு சொல்லி பார்த்தோம்னா அதில் வந்து நீங்கள் மானிட்டர் பண்ணிட்டு எவ்ரி அட்லீஸ்ட் 4 to 5 breath நீங்கள் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒவ்வொரு பீப்பா எவ்ரி 2 பீப் வந்து குறைச்சிட்டே வரணும். குறைச்சிட்டே வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா உங்களுக்கு நீங்கள் அப்படியே நீங்கள் குறைக்க பேஷண்ட்டுடைய ஹார்ட் ரேட் எப்படி இருக்கு, சாச்சுரேஷன் எப்படி இருக்கு, பிபி எப்படி இருக்கு, ஸ்டாட்டிக் கம்ப்ளைண்ட்ஸ் எப்படி இருக்கு அப்படின்னு சொல்லி நீங்கள் பேப்பர் மானிட்டர் பண்ணிட்டே வரணும். மானிட்டர் பண்ணிட்டே வந்துட்டு நீங்கள் என்ன பீப் வச்சிங்கன்னா அந்த பீப் கரெக்டாக வச்சுட்டு அப்புறம் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நீங்கள் பண்ணதில் நீங்கள் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து கால்குலேட் பண்ணணும். அதாவது வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா நீங்கள் நீங்கள் இப்போ ஸ்டார்ட் வித் 8 people ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணி 20 people மேலே போயிருக்கீங்க அப்படின்னா அந்த பீப்புளை வந்து உங்களுக்கு எது விச் பர்டிகுலர் பீப்புளை உங்களுக்கு வந்து ஹார்ட் ரேட் நல்லா இருக்கு, பிபி நல்லா இருக்கு, கம்ப்ளைண்ட்ஸ் நல்லா இருக்கு, சாச்சுரேஷன் நல்லா இருக்கு அப்படின்னு சொல்லி பார்க்குறது அதான் வந்து ஐடியல் பீப். ஓகே, நீங்கள் வந்து இன்க்ரிமெண்ட் பீக்கும் போகலாம், இல்லை வந்து பார்த்தோன்னா மேலே ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணி ஹை பீப் வச்சுட்டு கொஞ்சமாக குறைச்சி வரலாம். ஸோ மெயினாக வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா ரெக்ரூட்மெண்ட் வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா அதான் எந்த ஒரு பேஷண்ட் வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா ரெக்ரூட்டபிளா நான் ரெக்ரூட்டபிளான்னு பார்க்கணும். ரெக்ரூட்டபிள் அப்படின்னு பார்க்கறதுக்காக தான் நான் வந்து இந்த மேனவர்ஸ் எல்லாம் பண்ணுறோம். நான் ரெக்ரூட்டபிள் இல்லை, இப்போ பிஎஃப் ரேஷியோ வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா கட் ஆஃப் வேல்யூ இங்கே வந்து 150 தான். அது 150 கீழே போச்சுன்னா வி ஸ்டார்ட் வித் ரெக்ரூட்மெண்ட் மேனவர். இந்த ரெக்ரூட்மெண்ட் மேனவர் வந்து சக்ஸஸ் இல்லை அப்படின்னா தென் கோ ஃபார் ப்ரோன் வென்டிலேஷன். ப்ரோன் வென்டிலேஷன்ல வந்து பிஎஃப் ரேஷியோ வந்து அந்த அளவுக்கு இம்ப்ரூவ் ஆகலை அப்படிங்கிறப்ப எக்மோ போவோம். ரெக்ரூட்மெண்ட் மேனவர் வந்து பண்றதுக்கு வந்து பார்த்தோன்னா நம்ம சொன்ன மாதிரி பாலாஜி சொன்ன மாதிரி வந்து டோட்டலாக வந்து பேஷண்ட்ஸ் அடைட் பண்ணி ஹீமோடைனமிக் ஸ்டேபிளாக இருக்குன்னு பார்க்கணும். பார்த்துட்டு சிபேப்ல 20 பீப் 20 seconds. நான் 20க்கு மேலே போனதில்லை, மேக்ஸிமம் ஐ வென்ட் டு 30 பீப். அதை முடிச்சுட்டு இப்போ சிபேப்ல 20 பீப் இது 20 seconds போயிட்டு தென் வி கோ ஃபார் த ஆப்டிமல் பீப் டைட்ரேஷன் அப்படின்னு பார்க்கணும். ஆப்டிமல் பீப் டைட்ரேஷன்ல வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா பீப் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து மேலே ஏற்றிட்டு அப்புறம் வந்து நீங்கள் எல்லாமே வந்து பார்த்தோன்னா ஹார்ட் ரேட்டு, பிபி, ஸ்டாட்டிக் கம்ப்ளைண்ட்ஸு, அந்த பேராமீட்டர்ஸ் எல்லாம் எழுதிட்டு அப்புறம் வந்து நீங்கள் வந்து கொஞ்சம் குறைச்சிட்டு வரணும். எவ்ரி 5 breath வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா உங்களுக்கு வந்து 2 பீப்பை குறைச்சிட்டு வரணும். குறைச்சிட்டு வந்து உங்களுக்கு வந்து எதில் வந்து உங்களுக்கு பர்டிகுலர் இதில் எதில் வந்து கம்ஃபர்டபுளாக இருக்கோ, எதில் வந்து எல்லாமே சாச்சுரேஷன் நல்லா இருக்குது, பிபி நல்லா இருக்குது, கம்ப்ளைண்ட்ஸ் நல்லா இருக்குது, எதில் வந்து பர்டிகுலர் இருக்கோ அதான் வந்து யுவர் ஆப்டிமல் பீப். ஸோ தட்ஸ் வாட் வி ஆர் டூயிங் இந்த இது. பட் இஃப் யூ ஹேவ் சம் வென்டிலேட்டர்ஸ் லைக் ஹேமில்டன் இருந்துச்சு அப்படின்னா வி ஹேவ் சாஃப்ட்வேர். So we have the software what the Balaji explained already. We can find out what is the combined drug and non-combined drug அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ரெக்ரூட்டபிளா நான் ரெக்ரூட்டபிளா அப்படின்னு சொல்லி இருக்கும். பட் மேக்வர்ட்லேயே வந்து பார்த்தோன்னா பிவி டூல் இருக்கு, பட் எந்த அளவுக்கு எத்தனை பேர் ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணிக்கிங்கன்னு தெரியல. ஸோ தட் இஸ் ஆல்சோ தட் இஸ் ஆப்ஷன் அவைலபிள். சரண் சார் வேற ஏதாவது பாயிண்ட்ஸ் வந்து எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணுங்க. தேங்க்யூ
சார். ஐ ஹேவ் ஒன் பாயிண்ட் சார். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் தேங்க்ஸ் சார். Before doing recruitment, the ET tube cup pressure should be inflated a little more compared to previous value for preventing leakage. Because when we are increasing the PEEP level, it may chance to get a leak from the oral cavity when the cup pressure is low, or even if it is 30 also. So that's why we need to increase the ET cup pressure before doing recruitment maneuver. Thank you. Others, if anyone have any queries, you can ask now.
Hello, sir. Hello.
சொல்லுங்க
சதீஷ்.
சொல்லுங்க ஜி.
இல்ல ஒரு சின்ன டவுட். அங்க நீங்க கத்தார்லயோ இல்ல கத்தார்ல வந்துட்டு இந்த ஓமன்லயோ இந்த RA ரேஷியோ ஏதாவது ஃபாலோ பண்றீங்களா? ரெக்ரூட்மெண்ட் இன்ஃப்ளேஷன் ரேஷியோ.
இல்லைங்க, ஆக்சுவலா அது 1 இருக்கணும் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி நான் முன்னாடி படிச்சதுங்க.
Actually here we are continuously following all patients RA ratio here. So the recruitment inflation ratio வந்துட்டு we are following. So 0.5 if the value is more than 0.5, it's lung is recruitable. So depends only we are optimizing PEEP. So if the RA ratio is more than 0.5, we can go up to 20. Depends the value, we can raise the PEEP up to this level, like 20, like that. So
how to check that?
இல்ல இந்த ஆப்ஷன் வந்து எல்லா வென்டிலேட்டர்ல இருக்கா இல்ல ஒரு பர்టిక్యులர் வென்டிலேட்டர்?
இல்ல ராதா சார், அது நம்ம வால்யூம் கண்ட்ரோலே போட்டு பாத்துக்கலாம். சிம்பிள் மெத்தட் தான், நம்ம கால்குலேஷன் தான்.
which ventilator having this option கேட்டா?
இல்ல வென்டிலேட்டர் ஆப்ஷன்ஸ் இல்ல. ஆக்சுவலா எல்லா வென்டிலேட்டர்லயுமே பார்க்கலாம் சார். நம்ம வந்து இந்த கால்குலேஷன் வந்து கொஞ்சம் பிட் டிஃபிகல்ட். பட் நம்ம கூகுள்ல போயிட்டு டைரக்டா அந்த வேல்யூஸ் அப்ளை பண்ணா நம்ம வேல்யூஸ் வந்துரும். பட் நம்ம வந்து அதுக்கு முன்னாடி வந்துட்டு நார்மல் டைடல் செட் டைடல் வால்யூம் அண்ட் ஒரு 15 பீப்ல எவ்வளவு டைடல் வால்யூம் இருக்கு, 5 பீப்ல எவ்வளவு டைடல் வால்யூம் இருக்கு, அண்ட் பிளாட்டோ பிரஷர் இன் 5 பீப். ஸோ இது பண்ணிட்டு அந்த வேல்யூஸ் எடுத்து நம்ம கூகுள்ல போட்டு we have to apply in this Google. So directly we will get a value. So otherwise வேல்யூஸ் வந்து நம்மளே போடுற மாதிரி இருந்ததுன்னா அது வந்து கொஞ்சம் டிஃபிகல்ட்டஸா இருக்கும்.
அதான் இங்க வந்து என்ன பண்றோம் அப்படின்னா நாங்க வந்து நீங்க சொல்றது எல்லாமே வந்து we are calculating. So before doing for the optimal PEEP வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா என்ன PEEP, என்ன ஹார்ட் ரேட்டு, பிபி, ஸ்டாட்டிக் கம்ப்ளைண்ட்ஸு, ஸோ அதனால உங்களுக்கு டோட்டல் ப்ரெஷர், பிளாட்டோ ப்ரெஷர் plot pressure சொல்ல மாட்டோம், plot pressure. இது எல்லாமே வந்து கால்குலேட் பண்ணிட்டு we are coming down the PEEP. which is comfortable அது வந்து போறோம், பட் நீங்க அது கால்குலேட் பண்ணி போடுறீங்க. பட் இங்க வந்து
இல்ல RA ratio போடுறதுக்கு there is some values. We need some values.
அதான் சார், ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இனிஷியலா ஒரு 15 பீப் வைக்கணும் சார். நான் சொல்றேன் பாருங்க, இனிஷியலா ஒரு 15 பீப் வைக்கணும். நம்ம ஒரு சைடல் வால்யூம் ஒரு 320 அல்லது 280 அந்த மாதிரி வச்சுக்கலாம். நம்ம அந்த 15 பீப் பிளஸ் வந்துட்டு டைடல் வால்யூம் ஒரு 318 வச்சுங்க. அப்புறம் எக்ஸ்கல்டு வால்யூம் வந்து அந்த 15 பீப்ல எவ்வளவு எக்ஸ்கல்டு வால்யூமோ அதை நம்ம நோட் பண்ணிக்கணும். அதுக்கு அந்த பக்கம் 15 பீப்ல இருந்து என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னா -10ங்கிறாங்க. -10ங்கும் போது 5 பீப் வச்சு ஒரு எக்ஸ்கல்டு வால்யூம் வருது, அதையும் நம்ம நோட் பண்ணிக்கணும். நோட் பண்ணி அந்த டைம்ல வர பிளாட் பிரஷரை கால்குலேட் பண்ணோம்னா நம்மளுக்கு அந்த வேல்யூஸ் வந்துடும்.
ஓகே,
நீங்க இது டீரெக்ரூட்மெண்ட் காசு பண்ணாதாங்க 15 பீப்புள் வந்து டைரக்டா 5 பீப்புள் கொண்டு வந்தீங்கன்னா
இல்ல அந்த அரே ரேஷியோ பண்றதுக்கு அப்படிதான் பண்ண சொல்றோம்.
ஒண்ணு இல்ல, ரெக்ரூட்மெண்ட் மேனேஜர் நம்ம ஒண்ணு இல்ல, நம்ம அங்க நம்ம பிரஷர் கண்ட்ரோல் மூலம் இல்ல, நம்ம ஹை பீப் வச்சு சடனா நீங்க பீப் குறைக்கும் போது டைல் வால்யூம் டிராப் ஆகுமா இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகுமா?
இல்ல டைல் வால்யூம் டிராப் எல்லாம் போக மாட்டோம்ல நாம.
அதாவது வந்து பீப் வந்து சடனா குறைக்கும் போது எக்ஸ்டர்னல் டைல் வால்யூம் கொஞ்சம் அதிகமா போகும். நீங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நம்ம செட் பண்ணது 320 வச்சுக்கோங்க சார். நம்ம அந்த லோ பீப்புக்கு பாத்தீங்கன்னா எஸ்கல் டைல வால்யூம் வந்து எப்படினாலும் ஒரு 800 600 அப்படின்னு தான் கிடைக்கும். அந்த கீழே கிடைக்கிற ஹார்ட் பிரஷரை வச்சு நம்ம கால்குலேட் பண்ணோம்னா கண்ணன் சார் சொல்ற மாதிரி 0.5
ரொம்ப நேரம் அப்படி அந்த 5 பீப்புள் வைக்க மாட்டோம். ஜஸ்ட் அந்த ஒரு எக்ஸல் டைடல் பாக்குற டைம், பிளாட்டோ பிரஷர் பாக்குற டைம், அவ்வளவுதான். மேக்ஸிமம் 10 செகண்ட்ஸ் அவ்வளவுதான்.
இல்ல இது வந்து பீப் ஆப்டிமைசேஷன் பண்றதுக்காகவா இல்ல லங் ரெக்ரூட்டபிலிட்டி செக் பண்றதுக்காகவா?
ரெக்ரூட்டபிலிட்டி செக் பண்றோம்.
ஓகே, சரிங்க.
எல்லாமே மேக்ஸிமம் வந்து ஹாமில்டன் இருக்கு, அதனால வந்து ஹாமில்டன் இருக்கிற சாஃப்ட்வேர் வச்சு வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா ரெக்ரூட்டபிள் நான் ரெக்ரூட்டபிளான்னு பார்த்துறோம்.
அது
ஈஸி சார். நான் இங்க டேகர் தான் யூஸ் பண்றாங்க.
ஓகே, சரிங்க. சரண் சார்.
ஹலோ, குட் ஈவினிங் பா. கல்ஃப் வார் மாதிரி பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க அங்க.
குட் ஈவினிங் சார், எப்படி இருக்கீங்க? நல்லா இருக்கீங்களா? திஸ் இஸ் லக்ஷ்மண் சார்.
எப்படி இருக்கீங்க? ரொம்ப நாள் ஆச்சு பேசி.
நாங்கெல்லாம் கொரோனாக்குள்ளேயே இருக்கிறோம். நீங்கெல்லாம் கொரோனால வெளியே வந்துட்டு இருக்கீங்க, நாங்க இப்பதான் கொரோனாக்குள்ள போயிட்டு இருக்கிறோம்.
குறையலைங்க சார், ஏதோ ஃபுல்லா இருக்கு.
Sorry, it's already is recording, sir.
Sorry.
I think both people spoke well, Balaji and Jayakumar, and Radha also gave a good explanation. I think almost everything was covered by them. இதுக்கு மேல என்ன எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்றது தெரியல. பட் the thing is, what is very very important is, as you all would have seen us doing in KMCH and Royal Care, we don't recruit the patient much. Recruitment as such does not have any mortality benefit, and it does not have a big advantage. Only thing is it improves the oxygenation. That transient improvement in oxygenation is not going to help us in any way. What is more important is finding out an optimal PEEP than recruiting the lung. If you have found out an optimal PEEP, then recruit the lung and keep the patient in a optimal PEEP. That is what is more important. Recruitment is a very very transient thing, and if it has to be persistent, it has to be done with some maneuvers like proning. Proning is one thing that can cause a consistent recruitment of the lungs in the posterior portion. That will help definitely, but recruitment as such, these people have spoken about the pros and cons. To me, it always means more of a complication rather than an advantage, because advantage is not going to be there for a long period of time, and it is going to be very short duration. If at all you are going to do some suctioning, if at all there is some sort of a disconnection in your ventilator, after that if the patient suddenly desaturates, that period of time you can recruit the lung and again keep the patient in the optimum PEEP. That is what is more important. Recruitment as such will not help you in improving the patient. As we all know, ARDS is a heterogeneous lung mixture, and almost every 10% of the lung will vary from one another in their both anatomical as well as physiological parameters. Some will be completely collapsed, some will be completely opened, Some will be fully filled with water. Some will be fully filled with consolidation. So every part of the lung will be of its own character, and whatever pressure and volume that you are going to generate with your ventilator will have different effect on different portion of the lung. So ARDS management, as we all know, there are two main things. One is improvement of oxygenation, and the other very, very important thing is you should not harm the lung. ARDS, if you keep supporting the patient and if you give some time, lung will improve by itself. Most of the things in ICU and most of the things on ventilator is the same. You give time, support the lung, it will improve by its own. You don't harm the lung. So some of the practices that can harm the lungs, as we all know, is a high tidal volume, high pressures, which can cause atelectrauma, barotrauma, and volutrauma. And over years, ARDS management has evolved, and we have known lot of maneuvers and lot of techniques that have shown good mortality benefit and good other physiological parameter benefits like low tidal volume, limiting the plateau pressure to 30, and prone ventilation, something like this. And over these years, there have been a lot of studies, and none of the studies have proven that recruitment is a must, and recruitment is helps in improvement of the patient's lifetime or patient's ventilator days. It just improves the oxygenation. So when can we use it? Definitely, it can be used as a rescue measure. You put the patient on ventilator. You have started ventilation with a low tidal volume, high PEEP, and limiting plateau pressure and all the inverse ratio and other things. Still, if patient's oxygenation is not improving, as a rescue measure, we use certain things, and one of those rescue measures is your recruitment maneuver. You try to recruit the lung. You try to open up the collapsed or atelectatic portion of your lung, which is predominantly in your basal area. And by opening up those lungs, you oxygenate more lung units and you try to improve the oxygenation. Theoretically, it may look simple, and theoretically, it may look to be advantageous, but it does not always happen. That is mainly because we don't know which part of the lung that we need to open up, and trying to open up the basal portion of the lung, trying to open up the atelectatic portion of the lung, what we tend to do is we create more pressure on the normal portion of the lung, and that can go into barotrauma and other increase intrathoracic pressure related complications. And the other thing is overdistension. Overdistension of these alveoli, what it does is it compresses the adjacent pulmonary vessels. What happens is your alveoli will be fully opened up, but there won't be any vessels that is opened up adjacent to it for it to take part in oxygenation. It increases your dead space. So as such, this overdistension should be avoided. Anatomical recruitment is something different from the functional recruitment. What we need is a functional recruitment and not the anatomical recruitment. In a functional recruitment, what is needed is you open up the alveoli to a certain extent that it does not cause overdistension, it does not cause compression of your pulmonary vessels, and it does not cause a decrease in your compliance. Compliance is very, very important. ARDS, as we all know, is a issue with your compliance. Lung, if it is like 50% opened up, its compliance will be good. If it is 75% opened up, its compliance will be good. If it is 100% opened up, like some sort of a balloon which is fully blown, its compliance will definitely be less, because more than that you will not be able to expand the lung, and the pressure that is needed to expand the lung, more than that limit will be very, very high, and the compliance will be low. So what happens is, if you over-distend the lung or if you over-recruit the lung, it will cause more problems than benefits. So whenever there is a desperate measure for you to improve your oxygenation, or as a temporary measure, you want to improve your oxygenation for you to bridge to a ECMO or for you to bridge to a prone position, that period of time you can definitely use the recruitment maneuver. But recruitment maneuver, as we all know, is a inspiratory maneuver. PEEP is a expiratory maneuver. For recruitment to be successful, recruitment has to be followed by a appropriate PEEP. If you fully recruit the lung and if you suddenly leave the recruitment, what happens is lung will completely collapse. It will not be of any use. But what happens is, if you know an optimal PEEP, if you know a PEEP which will prevent complete collapse of the lung, you recruit the lung and then apply a optimum PEEP so that it will not completely collapse and it will not cause atelectrauma. That is what is more important than recruitment to me. And as Radha and other people told, there are a lot of maneuvers on how to recruit the lung. First, you need to know whether to recruit or not. Then you need to know what method to use to recruit. Some machines were used to have sigh breaths. You can set the sigh breaths around 5 to 10 sigh breaths every minute. And if you set it like that, every minute 5 sigh breaths will be there. It will be given with a high pressure for a definite period of time. Other method is what was called as 30-30, 40-40, 60-60. You give a pressure of 40 centimeters of water for 40 seconds. It is called as 40-40 method, or 50-50 or 60-60, something like that. That again is a sustained pressure that will again, as we discussed earlier, it can cause barotrauma. It can cause increase in the intrathoracic pressure. Increase in intrathoracic pressure will decrease your preload to your heart and thereby decrease your cardiac output and can cause hypotension. So that is again not very good. The last method is your stepwise increment or a staircase method in used to recruit the lung. In this staircase method or your stepwise recruitment, what you do is gradually you increase your total pressure or your transpulmonary pressure, thereby slowly opening up your lung to see what is the compliance of the lung in each step. And as you observe that compliance difference in your every step of your PEEP, you can, as Radha told and as Kannan told, there are different measures in different machines. Using some machine can give you the compliance values, some can give you a recruitability index, some can give you a tidal volume difference, and based on those readings you can decide your optimal PEEP. And as you come down on your recruitment, you try to stop at that optimal PEEP. Thereby you can try to avoid de-recruitment and keep the lung opened up. Basically, you're trying to open up the lung, what is called as an open lung concept. And this is what best thing that you can do to recruit the lung as far as I know. If you ask me what I do, for recruitment, what I do is I usually select a pressure control ventilation with 100% FiO2. What I do is, the most important thing is you need to have a completely relaxed patient and you need to have a arterial line. See your BP. If BP is stable, with or without inotropes, you need stable blood pressure. Try to load the patient with IV fluid. If the patient is hypovolemic, the chances of you causing hypotension with a recruitment maneuver is going to be very high. So if at all patient is very hypovolemic, try to give some fluids and start your recruitment. In a pressure control ventilation, what I do is maximum PEEP I go is up to 20. Slowly I increase upon the PEEP to 20 and increase the pressure control to 30 to a total pressure of around 50 centimeters of water. I slowly reach this point and stop at this point for at least 5 minutes so that the lung is fully expanded. At this point, as we all know, once you keep on increasing your PEEP, your tidal volume will slowly come down. So for that, to compensate, you have also increased your pressure control So at this point of time, you will be having some sort of a tidal volume around 300 to 400 ml. As we all know, we set up a tidal volume of around 6 ml per kg. You decide that tidal volume, whether it is a 60 kg individual, you set it as 360 ml. If it is a 70 kg individual, you set it as 420 ml. After that 5 minutes, what you do is, if there is no change in your BP or other things, you start coming down on your PEEP. From 20, you come down on the PEEP to 18. What happens is, with the same pressure control of 30, your tidal volume will start increasing. From 400, it will become something like 450. If 400 is what the tidal volume that you want, you slowly come down on the pressure control to get that tidal volume of 400. From 30, you might be coming down to something like 26 or 27. Then next step, again from 18 PEEP, you come down to 16 PEEP. At this point, again, decreasing the PEEP will increase your tidal volume. Then come down on your pressure control from 26, 27 to whatever pressure control that is needed to maintain a tidal volume of 400. Like this, from 16, again you come back to 14. From 14, you come to 12. From 12, you come to 10. In this process, what is very much needed is, every step you see your change in tidal volume. At one step, when you come down from a higher PEEP to lower PEEP, what happens is your tidal volume will either be, there will not be any change, or it will start dropping. That is the point which is very important. And at that point, what happens is your lung starts collapsing. Most of your alveoli starts collapsing. That is what usually I take it as a point where lung collapses. And if that happens when you switch from 14 to 12, it means that your optimal PEEP is 14. So your optimal PEEP is 14. When you come down from PEEP of 14 to 12, what happens is your tidal volume either remains the same or it starts dropping and it does not increase. So that you take it as your point of deflation or de-recruitment. So what you do is, again recruit the lung to 50 total pressure and come down to 14 PEEP and keep at 14 PEEP. Don't reduce the PEEP further. Adjust your pressure control as according to your tidal volume of 360 or 400, whatever you have you require. This is what I do, and this is how I decide upon the optimal PEEP, and I recruit the lung and keep the patient in optimal PEEP. Now there are a lot of other measures that you can see. As you all people told, recruitability index, and some ventilators show up your compliance. And what is important is your driving pressure or your delta pressure. There should not be any major change with your delta pressure with the increase in your PEEP. That is how a good optimal PEEP will act. So this is how you recruit the patient. And as you recruit the patient, keep a close monitoring of your heart rate, BP, and saturation. Your saturations will definitely improve if the lungs are recruitable. If the lungs are not recruitable, whatever amount of recruitment you do, your oxygenation improvement will not happen. And there have been a lot of studies and a lot of evidences that has been coming out. If you ask me what is the conclusion that I can make, definitely there is no improvement in mortality with the recruitment. There can be an improvement in oxygenation, but it will definitely be transient. It can reduce the use of other rescue therapies like ECMO, and it will definitely cause barotrauma and hypotension or other hemodynamic compromise if not done by a professional without any good monitoring. So what is important is you need a good person, either a good respiratory therapist or a doctor, to stand by the ventilator and do the recruitment maneuver. People cannot do it whenever they want. You need to decide upon the situation when you want to do a recruitment maneuver, and you need to do it with all the caution. So that is very, very important. And if at all you want to do it with a staircase method. slowly go up on your PEEP and come down on your PEEP. Identify the optimal PEEP and keep a optimal PEEP at the end of your recruitment. This is all I want to tell you. I think if anyone have any doubt in this, you can ask me or any of your presenters.
Karan, I have one question. So here we are doing the staircase phenomenon with volume control, because the volume is constant, but we are monitoring part pressure. And what we are doing in KMCH and Royal Care, we are doing with the pressure control. But which is better, sir? In the Middle East, we are with the volume control. We are going with PEEP of 20. We are monitoring all the parameters. Go with the plateau pressure and compliance. And here we are in KMCH Royal Care. We are starting with the pressure control. We are increasing PEEP as well as increasing pressure control. Which is more beneficial?
Anything, whichever you are comfortable, whichever you are more confident, you do that. There is nothing wrong in doing both the things. The basic thing is you need to increase up the total transpulmonary or the total pulmonary pressure, and you need to have a close watch on your compliance. If you are using it volume control ventilation, your plateau pressure change in every step. If you are using a pressure control ventilation, see your tidal volume change in every step. That is what is important. I don't think there is no major difference in these two things. Everyone does their own thing. This is what I have been taught by Dr. Ram Rajagopal. So I have been using this method for the past 10 years. Again, I don't recruit much of the patient, only as a rescue measure. I use it, and I don't recruit all the patient. If at all I'm going to recruit, I'll do this method.
One more thing, sir. In pressure control, we are increasing pressure as well as we are increasing pressure control. Then we starting we are staying PEEP upper limit for the 5 minutes. Then we are after over every 5 breath we are reducing the PEEP. Same time we have to reduce the pressure control also, or after the reducing PEEP only we have to reduce the pressure control?
No, you reduce the PEEP, your tidal volume will increase. Based on the increase in your tidal volume, you come down on your pressure control.
Okay, that means we are keeping the pressure control constant. After you're reducing PEEP only, we are reducing pressure control.
See for the change in your pressure tidal volume. If you reduce both the things, you won't be able to assess the change in your tidal volume.
Thank you. That's why what we are doing. We are for doing the step-by maneuver. We are using usually we go with one paper. We monitor all the how much the heart rate, how much your saturation, how much your BP, how much your compliance. So we are monitoring each and everything. So we have the data. So while even if we are putting for notes also, we can know how much PEEP, how much ratio of PF ratio, how much your static compliance. So we have the evidence that these are the done, we are done. These are the ideal PEEP we kept. This is the optimal PEEP like that. So during our RT notes, we can put what is the status, what is the parameters we obtained during the recruitment maneuver. That's why what we are producing in Middle East. We are documenting each pressure particular limit, PEEP, how much is the parameters ratio. During our notes, we are putting each and every one. Even someone sees also the notes also, they will be clearly explained that this is the optimal PEEP of particular patients.
Yeah. That is definitely good to monitor and document things. But what is important is this should not be. Everyone should not be mending on all these things. If everyone in every shift, if people start calculating the optimal PEEP, what happens is patient will again and again de-recruit. According to me, optimal PEEP should be identified immediately after intubation based on the patient's lung condition. From that point of time, reducing the PEEP is going to be based on your patient's other improvements. Every day, there is no use in identifying the complaints of the lung and the optimal PEEP and other things. To me, identifying the optimal PEEP is immediately after intubation of the patient and immediately before proning or doing any major maneuvers. Optimal PEEP, identify that, keep it at that point of time. If patient is saturation is not improving with the optimal PEEP, it means that you need to go to the next maneuver like prone ventilation or a ECMO. That is the only use of doing that. Doing optimal PEEP and recruitment in every shift, what happens is all the people won't be doing the same thing, and they can hurt the patient. Patient can get more barotrauma and atelectrauma.
So one more thing, sir. Sorry for asking so many questions. So here we are cut-offing the PF ratio. So any patient intubated with ARDS, we are calculating PF ratio. We are taking as 150 as a cut-off value. With the PF ratio less than 150, we are checking for the recruitment maneuver. Is it recruitable or not recruitable? If the patient is not recruitable, we are going for the prone ventilation immediately. If there is a prone ventilation, after the prone ventilation, if there is no improvement PF ratio, then we go for the ECMO. This is what they were producing here. But they were taking the cutoff value of PF ratios 150. So this is what we are producing in Royal Cancer. How much PF ratio taking for the decision making, whether this patient going for prone ventilation, this patient is not improving prone ventilation, whether this is going for ECMO, which value are taking as a cutoff value?
There is nothing like a cutoff value. This is all practice related guidelines. As you would be knowing, we have been using this in KMCH and Royal Care. What is it? You step by step you go for the next thing. You have ECMO there, and it is very much available for you. So you can put more patients on ECMO. But in India, what happens is ECMO is very definitely very costly, and the availability is very less, and you can't put all the patients for a ECMO. So what we do is, the only best thing that we have is prone ventilation. Whether we need to do a prone ventilation or not, to me, prone ventilation is definitely a recruitment maneuver. If patient is not recruitable, he may not be very much prone responsive. If patient is not responding to a good PEEP, and if patient is not recruitable lung, he may not be very much prone responsive. So what we do is, we intubate the patient, identify the optimal PEEP, keep the patients ventilated on an optimal PEEP. If saturation is improving, we keep them on a supine position. If saturation is not improving with the optimal PEEP, we turn them prone. If patient is not improving, we even with prone ventilation, if oxygenation is not maintaining or not improving, it basically means one thing: lung is not recruitable. It is very hard. So the basic thing is, you need to rest the lung and put them on a ECMO. That is what. There is no definite value of PF ratio which can guide you on selecting all these things. It is based on your personal identification. You do things step by step, identify the patient responsive or not responsive, and then decide on the next maneuver. That is all.
Thank you, sir.
Karan sir, apart from that, I have one doubt, sir.
Tell me, Karan.
Sir, actually, if we are having a maximum RR and maximum plateau pressure is more, we are accepting permissible hypercapnia, right, sir? Almost to 60. Here, what they are doing, sir, actually, they are not going the RR beyond 20. Even we can go up to 30, 34 like that, but here they are not going like that. So even 7.25 is acceptable pH, right, sir? So even we can go up the rate up to 30, but they are not going. They are keeping the RR in around 20, unless very severe acidosis, to avoid a lung injury. Is it okay, sir?
I'm not very sure about that, Kanan. Whether respiratory rate will decide on your lung injury. More respiratory rate means more amount of time the lung is opening and closing.
Opening and closing.
To apply optimal PEEP, it will definitely avoid your atelectrauma. The only thing that you are worried about is your atelectrauma. every time your lung opens and completely collapses, again opens and completely collapses. Only that will cause atelectrama. If you have applied optimal PEEP, it will definitely avoid your atelectrama, and I don't think that will cause a major lung injury. Maybe a shear injury can be there, but I'm not very sure about that. But with the 20 pressure respiratory rate, I don't think we'll be able to maintain good pH. Even with permissive hypercapnia, I don't think pH can be allowed to go below 7.2. We can have a pH of 7.2 and accepted permissive hypercapnia of around 60 to 65. I don't think we can achieve that with a respiratory rate of 20. Definitely, if we can achieve that with 20, it is definitely going to be good, because lesser your respiratory rate, more inspiratory time you are giving for the lung to open up, and it can definitely improve your oxygenation. But I don't think practically it is possible.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
It's the same concern here also, because usually what we do in KMCH and Royal Care, if it depends upon the patient rate. If the patient respirated before intubation, respirated high, we start with the high respiratory rate. But here they were starting with the normal rate only. After seeing a blood gas only, they were question comes we can rise or not. But here the starting with the normal respiratory rate, but totally different what we are producing in India. So that is only concern. But depends upon the blood gas or pH they were trying to correct.
Sir, I have one.
Thank you. Okay, Lakshman.
It's for both Radha sir and Charan sir. Sir, is there any particular time duration for decreasing the PEEP, sir? Actually, when we are going decrement PEEP or increment PEEP, between the reduction of PEEP or increasing the PEEP, no? Is there any specific time we have to leave the PEEP, certain stage of PEEP? Like Radha sir said, every 5 breaths once we come down the PEEP, like, no? So like that, is there any specific time duration is there for reduce the PEEP?
For reduction of PEEP, I don't think there is a definite time duration that we need to wait for. Reduction of PEEP, we are basically going to see whether the compliance is improving on your PEEP to be increased. Basically, PEEP to a very low level to see the optimal PEEP. Again, you need to recruit the lung. That is very important, because while checking your optimal PEEP, you slowly come step by step down on your PEEP. Definitely, it is going to cause derecruitment. That is what we are worried about. It will definitely cause a derecruitment. If at all you want your optimal PEEP to be set, you have to again recruit your lung and then set your optimal PEEP. Maybe you can wait around 2 minutes for every decrement.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir. Here also we are doing every 2 to 3 minutes, sir, while decreasing the PEEP level.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Sedu?
Okay. Well, thank you so much to each and every speakers and our moderator. So I would like to mention our deep sense of gratefulness to Dr. Charan sir for his time and effort to share the knowledge with us, and our appreciation for Balaji and JK sir, and special thanks to Radha sir and Kannan sir for sharing their knowledge from their experiences. And thank you everyone for being here with us for this talk today evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you for this one. Actually, we all the people from Middle East, expert doctors from Royal Care, they were already involving in the meeting. I think most of the time, what I noticed, we are discussing. Actually, rest of the participants, they were in silence. So I think everyone need to open their mouth, and this is the platform, so they will discuss each other. So we'll share all our knowledge each other. So everyone is working in different countries. So we have different approach. Actually, we can use this platform. So everyone need to.
இதனால இப்படி ஆகி போச்சு. வாங்கலாம் போலாம். வாங்க. என்னடா கூட்டமா வந்து கொத்து கொத்தா திரும்புறாங்க.